Welcome to Red Bull Megaloop, the most extreme kiteboarding event in the world that we've all been waiting for. Today is the day that 16 of the best riders in the world are pulling their most extreme megaloops in order to find out who is the best. The megaloop is a trick where the riders jump as high as possible. He steers the kite a full circle through the wind to get the most power out of the kite and get a massive horizontal pull while doing a technical trick. In each heat, 4 riders compete to progress to their next round. There will be 4 rounds and 1 final. The riders are judged on a combination of height, power, execution and style. Who is the most extreme rider and takes home the win at this epic event? Welcome to Red Bull Megaloop.
Okay, so welcome back to the commentary box here. We're going to have a bit of a chat with Janek Grzegorczewski. Pretty amazing debut for you so far. In fact, a bit of an impressive year all round. First time at the King of the Air and now first time at Megaloop Challenge. How's your experience been so far?
My experience has been very, very good. I've been in King of the Air, and in King of the Air I unfortunately got out in the second round. It didn't go that well, but in Megaloop I just did my best heat ever. I think on the beginning got first out of the group and skipped to the third round, but unfortunately my kite has released. On the landing I just unhooked it somehow, I'm not even sure how, and it just released, so I had much less time to perform my tricks and unfortunately got out this time.
I mean, you know, it's always challenging riding an event like this with the standard of riders in this event. And you've been training all around Europe recently, but what was it like coming here to really stormy North Sea conditions?
So in here, what I really noticed is that the wind is really cold and it's pulling you really high up. It's like really dense, and it just takes you super high up, even if you don't have that much power. I switched to my 8 meter and it was just definitely too much and couldn't do the tricks that I was supposed to do.
But that's part of the challenge, isn't it? Because at the start of the event, you were the only guy on a 7, and you're probably one of the lightest guys in the event as well. Just explain for the people watching this, why is it that you can ride a smaller kite than some of the other guys?
I think the explanation is for that really simple. I just weigh much less, 65 kilos, maybe 66 right now, and all the other guys from here are around 80, some of them 90 for sure, so it's a much big difference.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's simple physics, but if you don't come from a kiting background, you might not understand why people change and ride different kites. And as well, you're riding a sort of a Delta kite, you're on the Core GTS 4. Now,
GTS 5.
GTS 5, sorry. Try and explain to anyone watching this how that kite will feel different compared to like a sea kite.
Sea kite is giving, while mega looping at least in those conditions like we have right now, sea kites is giving, we call it a big yang. So it gives you a massive pull when you're doing a kite loop, and with my GTS, it's powerful, but you can control the kite loop, you are feeling better on it. It doesn't give you that big of a pull when you're doing a loop. So I, for example, feel much safer on it. I know many people who prefer the yang because they love the adrenaline and they love everything about this yang. But for me, I just prefer to go with my GTS 5 and do a normal loop that looks similar, but it doesn't give you that big of a pull and that big of an adrenaline.
And I have to ask you quickly, who are you looking at for the final?
I really think that Whaley or Joshua Emmanuel has a really big chances in this year in Megaloop. I really think that those 2 guys can perform really well.
Well, we'll see. Those could be good predictions. We're going to have a look back now at some of the action from the event so far. Great, man. Really good. Thanks very much. That's great.
Thank you. I made it.
Okay, so a little bit more cramped now. I'm joined here with what I would call Megaloop royalty, really. Ruben Lenton, one of the founders of the event, and Lewis Crethan, two riders who know their way around a Megaloop, definitely. Guys, what we're seeing out here, pretty much dream conditions, pumping. It's been gusting over 40 knots. I mean, first thing I got to ask, do you both wish you were out there?
Well, I hope that reaction just says it all. I mean, from my perspective, and probably this is true with Ruben, I'll let him say himself, it actually physically brings pain to be inside and not be out there being part of Mother Nature like this. This is just, because it doesn't happen all the time, you learn to really appreciate those small moments where the storms come, and from my perspective, this is actually painful to be inside and not riding.
No, mate, I'd rather shatter an ankle in 20 pieces than be out there, and But I mean, no, this is what we live for, and waking up to conditions like this is absolutely awesome. The faster the wind goes, the faster my heart beats, and yeah, this is just amazing to see all the guys out there sending it big time, giving it their all right here on Zandvoort. Beautiful conditions today, on World Ocean Day, by the way. Mother Nature serving us some magic.
We've got thousands of people that are actually on the beach behind us that are turning up to be part of this event today. Now, Ruben, you are one of the brainchilds of the Megaloop move itself, actually the act of sending a kite through the window and giving you that much power that we've heard Yannick just talk about. How proud does it make you feel when you come to these events now and see thousands of people and all these best athletes in the world almost coming together to celebrate this one move?
I mean, of course, it's absolutely amazing, and I came across the Megaloop by just following my feeling and doing what feels good, and that was just sending it full power. And I think we have to take it all the way back to 2003 in an event against Aaron. I think it was called the North Sea Open in Belgium. And I remember being on this really small kite, a 7 meter, and just trying to get that kite fully around, because kite loops were being done and unhooked kite loops were being done, but not full send. And I was like, it must be possible. And just getting that much adrenaline from it, I just kept pushing and finally landed it. And yeah, now the whole scene is loving the extreme big air, and everybody is doing kite loops and megaloops, and it's just such an addictive feeling to just get that yank and feel so much control. And yeah, it's a blast. I will never stop pulling megaloops.
I mean, you've both pulled far more megaloops than I ever will, certainly, but can you both sort of break down the step-by-step process? So, going into it, that first build towards a megaloop as you edge, what's going through your mind, and what are you actually feeling from the kite as you build into that?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, going into a Megaloop, this is obviously the most asked question I get. And it all starts with visualizing, You don't just go out there and pull your backhand and hope you will be fine. No, you start visualizing every step of the way. And that's about growing your comfort zone, You don't start with a Megaloop, you start with small jumps and then higher jumps and then kite loops. But it's basically about getting as much speed as possible, edging beyond upwind, so you build as much pressure between you and the kite, so you can send the kite fully high, so you will fly as high as possible. Then the kite will have a lot of speed already. And what you do at the takeoff is like you pull in your knees so that your stomach muscles tense up, so that you're one with that kite. That's how you can absorb that yank, and you're gonna fly as fast as the wind, or even faster, because the kite really goes through the power zone and gives you that horizontal yank. And then it's all about timing, like seeing how high you are, and then timing your kite to catch you at the right moment and onto a safe landing. So it's always important to land with your nose downwind and full speed downwind, so that you can absorb any speed. And yeah, I mean, you do it quite well.
I think you've explained that very well. We touched on safety there, Ruben, and we'll talk about that a bit more in a minute. But I think from both our perspective, me and Ruben also so passionate about this Megaloop trick that not only do we go and do it all the time, we also coach it professionally, and it's something that we've really learned to break down. Some of this stuff you do it and don't really think about how you're doing it, but when you come to coach it, just like Ruben's explained there's lots of different stages to learning the Megaloop. Definitely we wouldn't say go out and learn it in 40 knots, what we're seeing here. We're seeing the top guys in the world do this. Try to build up in 25 knots of wind a bit, learning to loop on the way down. But I think what's the safest element of learning a Megaloop is really when to say no. And it's when to say no to the feeling that things just don't feel great when you're on the way up. Because if your takeoff is wrong with a Megaloop, you can end up with some really big crashes. I myself have had a big crash before. Ruben currently going for a big crash. Your takeoff was probably fine on that, though, I think. I think it was a bit more unfortunate than that. But there's a lot of dangers in what we're doing here that you probably can't see if you're watching at home, because everyone's landing everything. But these are the top guys in the world, We have to remind you that.
Yeah, and that's a good point. They are the top guys in the world, so I'd like to ask you both, starting with you, Ruben. who are you looking at for the final here?
I mean, really, anyone in this field can take it, and yeah, there's some new guys, obviously some hardcore rockers that we've been seeing at these type of events, like Kevin Langeray is flying higher and further than anyone with so much control and yeah, so much precision, and I think everybody admires that and really likes it. There's some guys throwing some more aggressive loops, but they don't go as high and far. But yeah, it's a battle for the judges to decide who goes through, you know. But I think we are seeing some epic extreme kiteboarding today, and this is what it's all about. You know, in its 5th edition, every year the level gets pushed, and Nick Jacobson was doing some amazing Megaloop board offs and sticking them cleanly, you know. And I mean, yeah, they're making it look easy, but it's really hard, you know. And it's all about the feeling, you know. Everything has got to come together, like Lou said. The takeoff it's all about the takeoff, you know. You need a clear takeoff in order to stay balanced in the air, and then absorb that yank, and then even do like double rotations or a board off. It takes some practice, you know.
Okay, so I need a top 3 from both of you.
Oh, cool. That's really quite challenging, because let's not forget some of these riders are our friends as well. And I think, as Ruben touched on, we actually have many different styles being covered here. Nick's got the Megaloop board off. He's throwing that down, and the only one today throwing that in quite extreme conditions. Kevin, I mean, he's such a multi-talented rider in so many disciplines. I respect him for entering his first Megaloop event here, and he's found himself in the semis. Liam, who's just walked his way through to the semis, he's so comfortable in competition. I mean, and I've got duotone teammates. I've got Lasse that I'd like to see really do well. But I think deep down, the guy for me that I'd like to see on the podium today, and I'm putting it out there saying this, but I'd like to see Ross up there, because I coached that guy how to jump properly no less than about 3 years ago with his mum on the beach, and he's come on to being one of the big stars now in the Megaloop events. And I think from a bit of a selfish perspective, that would be nice for me. So if he was up there, I'd like to see Lasse as well, and I think Liam's going to make it up there. That would be what I think is going to happen.
I mean, yeah, that's a nice way of saying it, a nice way of putting it and looking at it. Yeah, obviously Kevin is super stylish, goes super controlled, lands everything 100%, so he definitely makes a good chance.
So is he in the top 3?
I mean, he's riding a bow kite, so in my eyes it's not as extreme, but he is going pretty high and far, so I think, yeah, the judges will like it. Like you say, Ross Dillon, he's adding some double rotations and really getting that loop down low, so I think that's really important in this event. Yeah, who else? Lasse Walker is also sending it, so yeah, I will pick those 3 guys to make it to the top today.
I forgot to add Steven Ackersdyke as well. There's a guy that knows how to get to the final. He's done that on, you know, he's done that twice out of 3 times, so maybe he deserves his time.
Maybe he does, and those could be very solid predictions, but time will tell. But in the meantime, you too can make your predictions about who might win. Go to the Red Bull Netherlands Instagram page, find the Megaloop post, and comment with your selections for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place in this event. First person to get it right will win one of these Louis branded Red Bull Megaloop boards. And yeah, get in there early, because you don't want to miss out on this one.
You are watching Red Bull Megaloop, the event that only runs when a storm hits the radar. 16 of the world's best riders are pulling their most extreme megaloops in order to find out who is the best. These are the semi-finals. The best 2 riders will progress straight to the final. The riders are judged on a combination of height, execution, and style. This is Red Bull Megaloop.
Okay, and we're back. We are about to start semi-finals, and in the first semi-final, Heat 11, we have Lasse, we have Nick, we have Luke and Ross, so it's gonna be very exciting. What do you think about those riders, Lewis?
Lasse Walker, Nick Jacobson, Luke. It's going to be a tough one, this. I don't know. Nick's really got that different move today with that Megaloop board. It's always nice to sometimes have a move no one else has got. But here we are. The green flag is up, which starts the first of our semi-finals. I think the South African's got a good chance, Ross. And I think Lasse, if he hits his moves, they've both got the style. Well, Luke as well, actually. He's got the aggression in the kite, too.
Yeah.
This is interesting. So switching to a Vegas, then, is Lasse Walker. He's been switching kites all day, adapting to the conditions, and that's the sign of someone really in touch with the wind speed, because it comes and goes and drops and raises. Here's the first Megaloop then of the semi, and it's a big one from Ross Dillon player. Can he stick it? Wow, the long sun-dyed hair of the South African rider staying dry on that first move, Baz.
Your favorite rider, you learned him how to jump. I just heard that in the interview. Look at the height he get there with the roll.
I think he had it in him anyway, to be honest. I just guided him on one little session, but he's really doing well here. It's a great start as Lasse Walker going for a Megaloop of his own with a bar spin.
Safe.
Save.
Sound.
Yeah, won't score as much, I think, as Ross, but Lasse's been a great builder today.
Definitely. So, jumping to the first position of the first semi-final here is Ross Dillon Player, 6.43.
It's going to feel great, that, as well, just to get those moves on there. So, two riders yet to trick then are... he's just getting out on the water then, is Nick Jacobson. He's late into this one.
2 minutes late.
2 minutes late? Oh, yeah, he is a bit late, but these things happen. But remember, it's only one move. Maybe it's a plan. On your screens, then, is Lasse Walker, semi-finalist at the King of the Air. He's starting to become a very regular face in the semi-finals now, as we see Megaloop then from Luke.
Another good take up
Just
there. I think
bounced
that's
off the tail there and ditches the kite. Very unfortunate for him there. He was heavily over the tail. And I might show you that replay in a second, but in the meantime, two guys are loading up to the left. I don't know who to watch.
It's
First,
Nick.
Nick Jacobson with a big one-footed Megaloop with a bar spin. Landing downwind, very controlled. In the meantime, Ross Dillon Player here. This is just very composed riding from such a young rider. I'll need to get his actual age in here, but I'm pretty sure it's 18 or something. He's upwind further than anyone, and he's controlling this heat at the moment so early on. As on your screens then is on the white rash vest. That's Luke Timmer. Cool. There's a big Megaloop here. Can he land it from Ross Dillon? This is unbelievable stuff from the South African. Two belters in a row. Wow. What a move. Where has this come from? He's up for it.
his
He's
long
really
hair
up
is
for this.
still dry. It's
Look
amazing.
at this for a big boomer. Massive Megaloop, big delayed back roll, full control. Can he land it? Bob's your
Clean.
uncle. He's landed it. He's
So,
involved with the crowd. I like that badge.
bit more than 8 minutes in this first semi-final with Lasse Walker, Nick Jacobson, Luke Timmer, and Ross Dillon Player definitely leading this heat.
As Lasse Walker now heading out to sea. Great shot there.
So what's Lasse Walker's signature trick?
I think it'd be Megaloop back roll really is what he's been eyeing up today, but he's actually had some tricky conditions today because he's had to keep changing kites. So he's on a Vegas now. He's on a much more C-shaped aggressive kite.
Do you need to steer your kite different when you use a different type of kite, or you just adapt?
Well, they're
in the
so
air?
different, a Dice and a Vegas, you know, like you'd have to really be in touch with both of them to know how they work in what wind speeds. And I believe Lasse tends to use the Vegases in the lower sizes. So I imagine he might even have a 9 up there, possibly, or an 8. Here we go, Megaloop back roll, not as extreme as Ross is. Oh, and it's a backside block side edge.
On boots.
And they hurt hard. Yes, that's true badge. You don't come out the boots. Well, you do if you hit hard enough, I know. But that was a big land. That will really wake him up. Sometimes you need that.
You could see him breathing, taking his breath again to go back upwind.
So, Ross Dillon Player, 7.0 in the lead. Nick Jacobson with 6.33 for Megaloop 1-footer.
And the guy who just crashed, Luke Timmer, scored the highest today with an 8.4, if I remember correct. The insane kite loop with a roll. Just landed it.
I think we got a 30 to 35 knot, 10 knot average out there now. Sorry, 10-minute average. 10 knot average. 10-minute average. So it's tricky heat this. The riders aren't riding around super powered. There's a lot of energy in their kites, so don't get me wrong. But it's tricky to know what setups here to take, and that's why Lasse's on probably the third different kite he's used today. He's on that Vegas. What's he got for us? He's on the blue rash vest. He's riding out to sea now. Nice panning shot. Here he goes. He's up in the air. It's a Megaloop with the back roll. Is that going to outscore his 5.7? No, it's not.
Just making it there.
And with 6 minutes left, this may become a showdown between him and Nick at this moment for that second place, unless Luke Timmer can put in a big move of his own. Lasse Walker on your screen there is the furthest downwind in this heat right now. That's not the nicest place to be, as all the other riders can see you. You've got that feeling of pressure that you need to be back upwind. So I expect him to put in, unless a great wave presents itself, I expect Lasse to just ride this one back
and for
out.
me, the big question is Nick Jacobson going to perform another massive loop with a board off?
Yeah, because 6.33, are you safe with that? Probably
No,
didn't go
definitely
through some
not.
of those heats so far.
Still early in the heat.
I think we're going to see some sort of front roll variation from Nick actually.
setting up.
Yeah, he'll be looking to upgrade that trick. And that's good riding from Lasse Walker there. Experienced riding, just turns around to ride back upwind. All these riders then just taking a breather as no waves or good gusts come in. I'm not sure who's going to trick next. Possibly on the white rash vest, it could be Luke Timmer, who still needs to open his account, but as we keep repeating
Luke Timmer is speeding up, looking for that wave there in the back.
Nice, he's found a gust there. He's found a Megaloop with a delayed roll. But, he ended up blockside again. This could be a K. Cool, that is a real hard hit.
He's okay.
He's all right. Cool, that really did hurt. He's okay. Cool, there's not much you can say. When you land in that direction,
Lasse changing kite here.
Backbreaker, Megaloop 1-footer.
A lot of control.
Lasse's changing up. He's got to be changing up, in my opinion, here to a 9.
There we have the live score. Ross is still leading with a 7. Lasse changed kite. And there we see big loop of Ross again.
This is really good riding from Lasse, in my opinion, Baz, today. He's been really in touch with the conditions. He's had a great support network on the beat. There's Ross Dillon Player, who's way out ahead at the moment. But there you can see someone just helping him to his board on the beach there in the blue rash vest. And I think this could be the difference between Lasse Walker finishing in 3rd and getting a score above Nick Jacobson of 6.33. This is great riding from this rider, who's now starting to appear in semi-finals all around the world. So good effort for him. It's such a great response. It visibly looks from here like they're not all super powered, as we said, Baz, but when you're out there, it's a different story.
Definitely. So again, best 2 riders are advancing to the final. So this is the first heat of the semi-finals. 2 riders are advancing, and then we have the second heat. And there we have Lasse immediately going out.
There we go.
Big loop.
That's a massive loop. No grab or no back roll, but I think that's going to score more than a 6.33. That is just genius riding. Look at the height he got. So this bigger size kite allowed him to get up there before he looped it. And he's going to be.
So we are looking at heat number 11 with Lasse Walker, Nick Jacobson, Luke Timmer, and Ross Dillon Player. And we are looking at gusts of 49.8. No way.
No, we got 9 meters out there. It's definitely not that windy at the
40
moment.
knots at the moment.
Yeah, riders have changed up. Wind angle looks like it's gone a bit more cross-shore to me, Baz.
Yeah.
As just a bit of help on the beach.
There's another big one from Nick.
This is big from Nick. It's becoming a real battle.
Flying.
For this second at the moment, but I think these riders are going to start pushing the 7 envelopes. So even Ross might have to do something different here. Where is Ross? Here's that nice big loop then from Lasse, allowing the legs to go back behind him. That's his style. And a nice clean landing.
So less than 3 minutes in this heat. We see Kevin Langeray warming up for his semi-final. Who's coming up next?
Luke Timmer then just having a big deal on the beach in that white rash vest. I think he's had a problem with his boot there after that impact of that backside board side, backside block side. I think he's having his board fixed or something, but he's got 2 minutes to get back into this. And really close between Lasse and Nick Jacobson now. There's 0.2 in it, Baz.
Yeah.
Unless some of those scores haven't come back in. I know Nick's score.
I think we're still waiting for...
There is Ross with the biggest loop of the day if he can stick this out the back. Here comes his landing. And he sticks it. That's going to be well up into the high 7s. And the crowd cannot believe what they've seen down here. Wow, check this out for takeoff and understanding of the move. Massive jump, big back roll after the loop. That was one of the biggest loops of the day. And there's a big roll from Lasse Walker with a back roll, Megaloop back roll as well. That's going to score high.
And imagine if he would hit a kicker, he would have gone even higher.
Yeah.
More extreme. So he is definitely ready for the final. Ross.
7.77 coming in from Ross Dillon Player. He's going to make his way to his first final ever, and quite comfortably so. So it's Lasse Walker, Nick Jacobson, and Luke Timmer. Now, what a story that would be then if Luke would go out and perform one big, massive loop here after spending the whole heat on the beat. He just needs one. That's all you need.
Another 8, like before.
1 minute, 20 seconds remain.
So we're about to start the last minute of this first semi-final.
Yeah, and Nick Jacobson's not got quite... There's the eyewear that everybody's sporting here at the Megaloop, Red Bull Megaloop, with that sand blowing everywhere and the strong
A lot
wind.
of people came prepared, huh?
They did, and on the water then, it's crunch time then for Nick Jacobson. He's probably going to get one more go at this. Can he upgrade the 6.33? We know what move he needs.
He
Baz.
needs that kite loop board off.
He needs that kite loop board off.
With a roll.
With a roll. Turning around then is Luke Timmer, who's going to go for something on the inside, I imagine. Here he goes. He's got nowhere nice to take off, though. This could be big from Nick Jacobson. It is a Megaloop to delayed back roll. If he can stick it, which he can, and there's a Megaloop out the back. They're all going. There's a boogie loop as well from Ross Dillon. Nick Jacobson could well have upset this here for Lasse Walker. I think that was big enough. I wouldn't want to be in Lasse Walker's shoes now, who's going to see this in the blue rash vest.
But he's still going to take off. Lasse Walker, last trick.
On the blue rash vest.
Big!
It's even bigger. It's even bigger. Can he stick it? He can't stick it. Oh,
yes,
he can. It's
yes.
an unbelievable
No.
landing.
Oh,
He's come through it. Wow. How are they going to judge this, Baz? How are they going to judge this? As you can see here, our scores on the screen there. Heat over. We've got Lasse Walker and Nick Jacobson, whose two big moves haven't been added to this yet. I don't think they're going to score 7.77s.
To be
Is your
honest.
heart pumping, Baz? Mine is like
mine
going
is, man. I'm happy
crazy.
that I'm standing.
Yeah, we got rid of the seats here to stand up for a bit. And wow, what do you reckon? Who's got that?
Well, I'm happy that I'm not a judge.
They were
and
similar.
They were definitely similar, but for me, I couldn't really see the landing proper, so...
I think Nick's landing was cleaner, but the way...
Who was jumping higher?
I wouldn't want to say. I think they're equal. I think that naturally with the type of kite Lasse has, it would have looped a bit more aggressively, but Nick knows how to steer that north through the window. Nick's landing was more
I'm
clean,
so
and that's what I think this might go to, unfortunately, for Lasse, but who knows? Lasse's move there was, what a time to find your best move.
Are these riders riding with a watch so they know how to time it?
Oh yeah, these riders in competition kiteboarding, you synchronize your watch to the official time. You know exactly by the second when this thing's starting. That timer runs all day, it's not changed. If anything, it's you work to that timer. So once you're synchronized in on that, you know the flag system tells you. There's the red flag that you can see just outside the judging booth, and they're having big decisions in there. You can see that now. They don't know. They don't know what's going on. They do know what's going on, but they don't know who to say has got. I think this man is in first for this heat, and he looks very calm and composed. So those watching back home, those family watching back home should be so proud of him. He's absolutely smashed this event so far from such a tricky start. He had to go through round 2 in wins where he needed a 10 probably at the start. And there on your screens in the red rash vest is the South African Ross Dillon player. We're about to find the scores for that heat, and somebody's going to be upset here, Baz, for sure.
Yeah, definitely a nice overview of the competition area. All the flags are fully flapping, and there we see Ross Dillon. He isn't sure yet. Did he advance or didn't he? And maybe we can already go quickly over the upcoming heat. It's heat number 12. Steven Akkersdijk, Liam Whaley, and Kevin Lange and Oswald Smith are in the next semi-final.
There's Nick walking back.
We are waiting.
Do you think he knows what's going through his mind, Baz? Did I make it? Was it enough?
I think he is.
Ross has won the heat and he's just been told. And look at that mindset. He's so focused. He didn't even...
Okay, the final scores are coming up in a few seconds.
Who's going to be devastated?
Yeah. Ross Dillon player grabbing first. In second.
Were they updated,
Lasse Walker.
those scores?
In
I'm
third.
Not sure they were updated, but maybe they are the correct
Nick Jacobson. In fourth. Luke Timmer.
I felt those last moves were bigger from those two riders, so possibly they're taking a bit more time to update. I don't know. Like, we'll confirm. Are you confirming that, Baz? Do you think that's confirmed? I'm not. Yeah, you had it confirmed. He taps his ear to say, I've had it through the earpiece. That's confirmed. But we will move over to the other semi-final now then, which is Stephen, Liam, Kevin and Oswald Smith.
The green flag is up, so it means Steven Akkersdijk, Liam Whaley, Kevin Lange and Oswald Smith are going to battle it out for a position in the final. Currently in the final we have Ross Dillon player from South Africa and Lasse Walker.
Kevin just aborts a jump there to the left-hand side. On your screen coming in on that core, then must be Steven Akkersdijk. I turned my attention to the blue Air Rush and the green Nash. Of the two on the inside. Actually left. Oh, someone's had a catastrophic equipment failure. Watch this kite come through your screen. Liam Whaley has had a blowout in either the harness or the chicken loop, and there it goes. His kite straight through the zone. He's not attached to that, I can tell you for now. That one just blew out like an explosion upwind.
Where is Liam? Is he in the water?
Where did that
he
come
is taking
from?
off his boots.
Unbelievable explosion. He's going to need another kite. And I tell you something, Baz, I wouldn't put it past him to get through this heat still. He's got no kite. He's swimming in the water.
He only needs one takeoff, one trick. So everything is still possible. Safety guys are getting his kite back to the beach.
What happened there? We've seen a few catastrophic equipment failures today, and there was another from Lee. He was just riding along, minding his own business. Poof, Baz, and it just went bang. There was no jump. Thankfully, that wasn't midway through a jump.
And there he goes, first trick, massive loop of Stephen Akkersdijk.
Yeah, the
beautiful.
Poor riders really starting.
Was that
to,
a landing, Lewis?
No, I'd like to see a bit more speed out of the landing for me. I mean, we saw that in the background there. Maybe some points, but Stephen Akkersdijk's score will reflect that shortly. But on your screens now is the King of the Air champion, Kevin Langeret. Nice big loop. He hit a gust there, which pulled him out of shape into a Whaley, and that's why that core position is good. But Kevin, the master of all discipline, is able to start and open up this heat going straight into the lead. He knows nothing else, this rider from the Netherlands.
There we have
we've got all the action.
Oswald just stopped. Boarded his trick to set up for another one.
He's managed to organise upwind here, Liam Whaley, so it'd be a great time to shoot him with that orange and blue kite over to the left-hand side.
Kite,
He's swapped a kite, but the most important thing is he's managed to somehow... Oh no, he's had another deal. It's a harness deal.
He got stuck on the, on the sand.
Okay, it happens to everyone. There you go.
Even to a world champion.
There he is. Oh, there we go, into a nice front roll. So Liam has managed to organise that kite. It's not in good condition. That is not pumped up properly, but he's going to have to deal with it. It's all he's got. Someone on the beach there has lent him, I think it's a local rider that's come flying out with a kite he knows, which is an F1, but it doesn't look inflated enough to me. So this is unbelievable scenes here in Zandvoort at the Red Bull Megaloop. Is just connecting his leash is Liam Whaley, who's got that kite is not inflated to be bending in half like that. And how confident will Liam Whaley be of sending that one into a Megaloop? In the meantime, Kevin Langeret 6.63 leading in such a different heat that we've got here than our other semi-final. Baz, you look like you can't believe it. That's pointless on that scent jump there. Unluckily for Stephen Akkersdijk, he would have liked a big Megaloop. Baz, I just can't stop talking. It's getting too excited. Tell me how you think this heat's going to go.
I think Liam is going to change his kite again. And it's Oswald Smith who is going to perform his first trick here in this second semi-final. He's all the way out on his 8-meter Irish Razor and setting up there. Not really finding a proper kicker there, or maybe all the way in the back. He's getting speed. Are you with me here, Lewis?
I'm with you, but I'm looking further to Liam. I think he's going to abort this. Kevin's flying out to sea now, but my eye is out to this corner of your screen. It's looking at Liam. He's changing kites. He's looked at his watch, and he's jogging on. He's got a lot to do here.
What a strange semi-final.
Let's try and get a shot of Liam running up the beach here, way out left down to the south.
There we have
beach.
Ross Dillon. No, this is Stephen Akkersdijk. He's
big.
like showing that he has all the control, landing it.
Yeah, I'd like to get... Here is Liam. So, yeah, he's not pumped enough. He's having to pump his own kite, and he's got to get on with it. I told you that kite was not inflated enough. And where is Liam in the meantime, trying to organise another kite? This is a big deal for Liam Whaley here. It's taken an equipment failure to mess up his day. And someone's put a pump down. 7 minutes remain, then, for Liam to just get one big move. Who I think would be one of the favourites for this heat.
Definitely possible. I can set up my kite in 7 minutes and go out.
This will be one of the biggest talking points.
And there we see Oswald Smith going.
No, he just didn't get that vertical lift there, Baz. Possibly with the takeoff, it ended up being a downwind drag. So Oswald also needing something. All these riders just need something. Stephen Akkersdijk got a 0 for that Megaloop earlier. Where is Liam then? Is Liam going to make it?
So Kevin Langeret in the lead. He's just going for
it's
another.
A massive Megaloop from Kevin Langeret. It's the biggest of the day. And he's going to stick it straight across the event. So he's starting to find that smooth rhythm as he usually does towards the end of the competition.
This is the biggest one of the day. It's very
this
massive.
Is a big Megaloop for Kevin. And these are the sorts of conditions that kite seems to jump so well in. We don't have the 40, 45 knots of strong wind that we usually have as on your screens as Lasse Walker who's made it through to the final. This is Oswald Smith. Just
Not
a moment
going
of
as
delay
high,
with
yeah.
that kite or the loop, but he landed that cleanly. What a strong landing.
Definitely.
Is it
So
going to be enough?
definitely Kevin Langer is showing that he's a great all-round kiteboarder. Normally riding in waves, at the moment focusing on waves, but still able to pull out some sick megaloops here on Zandvoort. And if you're just tuning in on Red Bull TV, you're watching the Red Bull Megaloop here live from Zandvoort. I'm Bas Kolen and I'm standing here with Lewis Crathern, and we are really excited.
We are. That's an understatement, Baz. This is unbelievable what's going on here. This heat here now, as Liam Whaley makes his way back into the heat after at least 5 minutes out with a catastrophic equipment failure, with the chicken loop, I think, blowing out somehow at the start of this. He's managed to swap kites, and it looks to me like he's borrowing an 8 dice off somebody. He's going to get a shot still, and I would not put it past this guy to find a way into a final. He's so good at finding a way.
He still has 5 minutes. Liam Whaley is back on the water.
And you've got to feel the crowd are going to love this story if he can make it. But on your screens now, then, Stephen Ackersdyke currently in third. A lot to play for here. Kevin Langer, that's a very high 6 score for his Megaloop. It was super high.
Yeah.
And he looks to be...
Oswald Smith on the 8 meter. That's the only kite he brought. Pretty good call.
Yeah, I suppose if you were only going to bring one kite, probably got away with that. Wouldn't have liked to travel without a 9 myself. All 4 riders then on the water right now. As a moment of calm descends over the heat box as these riders reset themselves for this last 4 minutes and 15 seconds left. All currently riding on a starboard tack. That's right foot forwards.
What a totally different heat than the previous heat.
Why it's had so much act. Here goes Liam then, probably for his first go ever on a dice here. Can he find that skill to use another kite? It's like
in these conditions.
Yeah, in these conditions, to just trust.
There he goes.
No, he hasn't got the take on.
I wouldn't.
He's got to just find one good loop here, and he's, in my opinion, got to just send it into a back roll, a delayed roll. Can these other riders upgrade their tricks? There it is.
Whoa!
Yes, he sends it into the Can he stick it? Can he stick this? Big moment here at the Red Bull Megaloop, and he does. And he lays that board down like a man carrying a tray with 20 eggs without wanting them to break.
That was insane.
Here it is on a kite he didn't know. Sends it into the day back roll. Look how careful he was with this landing and how he crouched like suspension with the legs. Unbelievable.
Kevin, another one.
There's Kevin with the same move of his own. I think Liam Whaley's going to have done enough there as we see another big loop from Stephen Ackersdyke. Oswald Smith currently occupying second place.
And we have Oswald going out. Is he going to stick another one?
Oh, he's done a massive boogie loop. Liam Whaley out the side of your screens there.
Whoa!
He's just sent a huge boogie loop. He's going to go through in first by this rate.
This was definitely the biggest trick here of this heat. Liam Whaley on another kite, another brand. Maybe he's going to use that kite as well in the final.
Out the back then on your screen, it's Oswald Smith.
Whoa!
Another big move on the inside by Stephen Ackersdyke. You have to forgive us for our excitement. We just can't deal with what we're seeing. Here is the boogie loop from Liam Whaley.
Sick, so much control.
On a kite he doesn't know, performing one of the top 3. We haven't seen many super-powered boogie loops today, and I think that's going to put him in first. 7.87.
Nice one.
Has shot him up to the top of the leaderboard. So
double the score almost of Kevin's.
Kevin won't be too upset though. He's still in second place. Not that he knows it. As upwind is Oswald Smith there. Aussie
gets cheered by the crowd here.
Can Aussie?
Aussie just needs one big kicker. One wave.
That's interesting.
There he goes.
The MC shouting boogie loop. This is big. This is going to do it. This is big enough, I think. Can he stick it? Can he stick it?
Nice helicoptering down.
He can. Oswald Smith.
Was that bigger than Liam's?
Was it big? Stephen Ackersdyke had gone into second, actually. This has now become a problem for Kevin Langer. Here we've seen another one. There's a massive one from Liam Whaley, who looks very comfortable to be going through here. And Kevin Langere's now found himself out of the top 2. And with 1 minute and 20 seconds left, as we see this lovely replay of a controlled Megaloop delayed back roll by the Spanish rider Liam Whaley, former freestyle world champion. Let's get those scores up there. Here they are. Liam Whaley first, Stephen Ackersdyke in second, Oswald Smith. I think his score's going to come through still of that last big loop, and it might be somewhere in the middle.
Okay, it's Kevin, full power. He knows.
0.3.
Less than a minute to go. He's so powered.
Oswald Smith going into second place then. It puts Kevin Langere amazingly
on fourth.
down into 4th so far, as these riders are really reacting to this strong wind now pumping in here. This really is 35 to 40 knots.
As we said
Solid.
before, everything can happen. You only need one massive trick. We saw Liam just coming into the heat.
Oh, that's huge. That is massive from Liam Whaley.
No way.
Out to the right-hand side, so far out. I don't even know if the cameraman's tripod is out to pan that
There we
far.
have Kevin, big loop, but not extreme enough, I would
Desperate to
say.
stay in the vent. Can he do it? Oh, he's bounced out of it. This could be, will be the end of Kevin's competition
Last
so
10
far.
seconds.
On the inside, Stephen Ackersdyke with the white rash vest. He's going to send something for the hell of it, or not. There's Kevin Langere. He just gets
Kevin.
buried in there. Here's the replay of that one. Wasn't quite as big
I
as
wanted
he'd
to
like.
say what a strange heat, but I think this was the most exciting heat
Here
of
comes
today.
Oswald Smith, who looks pretty powered now. He's going to be absolutely over the moon if these scores stay tight and true.
Great
And he will
riding
make
on
up
the 4
50%
riders.
of the final, South Africans, if he does get through. Wow, so red flag is up on the beach now. Baz, is it possible to recap that heat in a sentence?
Unexpected.
Unexpected. That is a good word. In one word almost. Unexpected. You could never have written a script for that. Right in your picture there.
I would have never expected somebody to lose his kite, change to a kite, change to another kite, and then
3 kites
take somebody else's
perform
kite.
a move, be able to get out and go and have a beer in the pub behind us here, and have won the heat. They're about to announce the results to the riders in the water. Kevin's going to find this hard. He's done so well to get to the semi-final of a discipline that is, I suppose would be fair in saying, isn't his #1 discipline. I mean, what is? Here is on your screen then the rider that we think has made it to the final in second place. It's Oswald Smith, the South African, with that blue air rush kite, and it'll be one of these tricks coming up here that scored the points he needed. Maybe not that Megaloop delayed back roll, but he certainly warmed that trick up and got through the gears. May well have been this one. Perfect takeoff. No, that was the jump where we felt that maybe he hasn't done it. Stephen went through. But Oswald did find his rhythm in the end. Who's it going to be?
So yeah, we're excited to see the final score to come up. And we are waiting. So we know actually Kevin is in 4th.
We do know this. Is
Yeah,
this what
so-
you're being told?
No, not yet. But
Okay.
I'm just waiting.
Here's
So
Liam Whaley, and possibly
Liam Whaley on another brand, not riding his own kite.
the comeback of all comebacks that we may be talking about years to come. Front roll Megaloop there. And just if you are just tuning in here, welcome to Red Bull TV, and wherever you are around the world watching this. You're watching the Red Bull Megaloop. There's Liam Whaley, who's had to borrow 3 kites in that heat, which cost him at least 8 minutes. He still managed to rip that heat to pieces and put in 2 massive moves, which have put him for sure into the final. That will be folklore talk for years to come, and can be compared to such comebacks such as Aaron Hadlow, as he's done at King of the Air. But here is Kevin Langere with some of his big loops earlier on in that heat semi-final. He got the height, no problem. Maybe the kite not being low enough could have cost him.
Longer lines than the other guys.
But he really put a good showing in. There he is on the beach. That's an 8-meter pivot he's been on there. Great
There we have the
ambassador.
score. Winning.
Liam Whaley, 7.87, takes it. The Spanish rider. Oswald Smith, South Africa, 7.10. And unfortunately for Ackersdyke and Langere, the 2 Dutch riders are out. So we can confirm in our final then that we have a Spanish rider, Liam Whaley, Oswald Smith, South African.
Okay, and before we go to the final, we go into a quick break and we'll be right back to you guys here on Red Bull TV. Grab a Red Bull for the final.
we gaan hier achterlopen.
Welcome to Red Bull Megaloop, the most extreme kiteboarding event in the world that we've all been waiting for. Today is the day that 16 of the best riders in the world are pulling their most extreme megaloops in order to find out who is the best. A megaloop is a trick where the riders jump as high as possible. He steers the kite a full circle through the wind to get the most power out of the kite and get a massive horizontal pull while doing a technical trick. In each heat, 4 riders compete to progress to their next round. There will be 4 rounds and 1 final. The riders are judged on a combination of height, power, execution and style. Who is the most extreme rider and takes home the win at this epic event? Welcome to Red Bull Megaloop.
So I'm joined here with Joshua Emmanuel, winner of the 2017 event. Joshua, first off, commiserations. I'm sure it must have been a bit of a hard one, that.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, a bit of an upset that I didn't make as far as I wanted to go. It would have been great to defend the title, but yeah, I mean, the conditions ended up turning on like how I wanted to. Planned to switch to the Impact again, and I don't know, last minute gut feelings just said stick with the GTS. I had a good first heat on it. And yeah, I just decided to stay with the GTS. Maybe should have switched over to the Impact again. Definitely helps you on the landings. It gets you can slow down a bit more. I found I was coming in with a bit too much speed today.
Yeah, I mean, this is the nature of competition, isn't it? We're in a sport that relies on wind. You have a short period of time to perform, and sometimes the dice don't sort of fall the way you might want them to. But you must be stoked though for core teammate and fellow South African Ross Dillon player who's
100%.
on fire today.
Yeah, Ross has honestly given an epic performance, so is Ozzy. I mean, I travelled with Ozzy here, so obviously the energy between both of us with their mates, and like if there's anyone else that I'd like to be up there, that's my homeboys, and that's for sure. I'm stoked for them. Hopefully they can both be up there number 1 and 2.
Well, we'll see. I mean, and also only one Dutchie in the final, so we've got Oswald Smith, we've got Ross Dillon player Liam Whaley,
Yep.
who borrowed a kite he's never ridden before. And what was all that about?
I must say that's quite insane to just grab a kite you've never ridden and go and throw a front roll loop and double rotations and sticking them pretty much perfectly. It's pretty insane to see, and it just shows how, with the experience he has, he can adapt to the conditions and even the kite that he gets given.
I mean, and you've touched on a thing there about experience. I mean, the 4th man, who I didn't mention, Lasse Walker. Lasse was trailing in that heat, came in, took out a 9, and winds gusting up to 50 knots. Now, you're a big guy, and you ride in really strong winds. What's it like holding down like a 9-meter kite in winds in excess of 40, pushing towards 50 knots?
I mean, it's hectic. I mean, it's all right when it's stable, but when those proper 50, 55 knot gusts come through, I mean, you want to be ready. You want to be able to hold your edge. I mean, there's numerous times where you actually just get pulled off your edge and you can't hold it anymore. So, I mean, it's also, yeah, again, it comes back to experience and knowing how much you can hold in your kite.
Okay. And who are you looking at for the final?
I'd love,
I've got to
obviously,
ask.
for me, Ozzy and Ross, I'd like to be number 1 and 2. 2 of my good friends, so yeah, definitely rooting everything on them at the moment.
Okay.
So yeah, I really hope that the boys can bring it home.
Well, let's see. We're actually going to go back to the action now with the finals due to start soon. It's about to go off. Stay tuned. This is where it counts. Okay, so before we get into the finals, I want to have a chat with Nick Jacobson here. Nick, how's your day been going?
It's been going pretty well, I would say. Started off a bit unlucky. I had some technical issues, but yeah, I managed to keep advancing in all my heats and actually made it all the way to the semifinals. So yeah, great, fun day.
Well, I mean, we were having some discussions here in the commentary box about would somebody do a Megaloop board off, and you know, with wind pushing pretty far over 40 knots, there was some doubts in our mind, and yet out you went and did a Megaloop board off. What was going through your mind? Was there any point at which you thought, you know, maybe actually it's a bit windy to send this trick?
Yeah, I thought about it so many times that I spotted the kicker and then I loaded up and I wanted to do it, but then I just chickened out because it was too windy. One time the bar actually slid up my hand because it was so windy. And then this event is only once a year, so if you don't go for it now, I'm just gonna regret it tonight when I'm in bed or tomorrow. So I went for it, and I landed the first one, and then I kept doing them, and I got more and more safe in the Megaloop board off, and just love that trick. It was scary in the beginning, but as you land your first one, your second one, then you become a bit more comfortable.
Sure. And I mean, talking of being comfortable in these conditions, you're one of the riders who really has sort of got to the top of this element of kiteboarding. How do you train for these events? I mean, it's not like every day you can just go out at your home spot and get 35 to 45 knots, is it?
Nope, no, not at all. So most of us, we go to Cape Town for like 3, 4, sometimes 5 months out of the year. And that's all we can actually do. And then we get a day like this, rarely. I'm from Denmark, and we get days like this maybe twice, maybe 3 times a year. So that's when you train, and so we don't really train too much for days like this. We don't, unfortunately. I wish we could, but it's just not that windy.
Yeah, and it has been pretty windy today. I mean, when those storm fronts came through, was there any point at which you're thinking, do I even actually want to go out and pull a Megaloop when it's sort of touching up to 50 knots and beyond?
No, not really. If you can ride and if you can jump, then a Megaloop is actually not the biggest issue. You just need to jump as high as you can, do the kite loop. If you do the kite loop straight after you take off, that's when things get a bit sketchy.
Yeah.
So you want to almost hit that peak and then yank your kite around, because then it's actually not too scary and it's pretty safe in a way.
Well, I'll take your word for that, because I'm not going to pull a Megaloop
Don't
at 50
take my
knots.
word for that.
I'd be out on a 5 meter hanging on for my life. Looking towards the final now, obviously we're closing down towards that. Only one Dutch rider in the final, 2 South Africans. Liam Whaley getting in there on a borrowed kite that I presume he's never even ridden before. What do you make of his performance today?
Liam Whaley, he's just so talented. He's, the first time I met him was in Brazil, around 80 years ago. He was there with his dad, and he did, everything. But he was so small, so he didn't really have any style, but he was still landing everything. So I think, getting into the sport in that age, it's just in your DNA. It's just, you don't think. It's like driving a car, you don't think when you change the gear, you just do it.
Yeah.
And that's what Liam, he does. And it's just, he can ride any kite and he just pulls it off as he does. And that's just wonderful to look at.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. I remember living in Tarifa about 10 years ago myself and seeing Liam riding in the lagoon there as a really young kid. And you knew he was going to be what he is today.
Yeah.
And but of course there is one Dutchman in the final, and that is Lasse Walker. So we caught up with Lasse on the beach when he found out that he'd made it through to the final, and we're going to go and cut back to that now and see how he felt when he got the good news. Lasse, you might not know yet, but you made it through.
Woo! Oh, it's rewarding.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I made it, and then the last one, I did a really huge loop with a laid back row and another roll. Landed, butt checked quite badly, but thanks a lot for the word, man.
Do you think it's fair to say that if you hadn't come in and changed your kite, things might not have worked out the same, huh?
Well, yeah, it could be fair to say, but as soon as I changed my kite, I think the wind picked up like crazy and I couldn't even hold my edge anymore, so... Well, I don't know, you never know, man.
I can tell you, actually, the wind was gusting up to nearly 50 knots at one point during that heat, so coming in to get a 9 meters is a pretty brave choice.
Ah, it's a pretty good thing to brag about.
Yeah. You can go home and brag about it later.
I might brag a bit tonight, but we'll see about that. Just
Well,
super stoked.
That's fair enough, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I suppose Lasse, if he was a bragging man, depending how the final works out, he may well be bragging later on. I mean, yeah, it is really windy today. There's no getting around that. How do the riders stay safe in these conditions?
Oh, how do they stay safe? It's all about experience today. If you're used to riding in strong conditions like this, you'll be fine. If you aren't, then you might get into trouble. So you really need to respect the conditions today, and you gotta trust and know your gear. That's key, and have a good caddy on the beach.
And I suppose you've been kiting for a long time. I mean, let's look back to when we all started kite surfing, how sketchy the gear really was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really come a long way, hasn't it, in terms of how safe you can actually be riding in winds like this nowadays.
Yeah, totally agree. It's if you let go of your bar, there's almost 100% D-power. On a day like this, I would say 50% D-power because it's just so windy. But in like way back then in 2003, 4, 5, 2-line kites, no D-power. It's just full power, full on. So today, getting into the sport, it's safe. Just don't go out in conditions like we have today, 40, 50 knots.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably safe advice for anyone, really. I mean, I've got to be honest, I rarely kite in anything above 35 knots. But one rider who does regularly kite in high winds, and unfortunately couldn't make it, is your teammate, Jesse Richmond. I mean, he would have just thrived in these conditions, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would. So we actually looked into tickets to get him here, but it was just too late because he's on Maui, and he would arrive here at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and then first possible start would be at 8. So being on a flight for so many hours, then going straight to the beach to ride in these conditions would just be, almost suicide.
But if anybody, I think, was going to be able to arrive with no sleep and fire into an event like this, it might be him.
Yes, 100%. Definitely. He would have totally killed it out there. Yeah. I wish he was here, but unfortunately not.
It is what it is. So, looking at who we've got now then, so I think, for my money, Lasse Walker is looking super dialed in.
Yeah.
As we've said, Liam Whaley can't be discounted. I remember the first time he showed up at King of the Air that year, and he just surprised everyone.
Yeah.
Nobody saw it coming. Now, I'll say from my personal perspective, though, I'm really thinking that Ross Dillon Player is looking like the man to beat right now. What do you think?
Yeah. I think looking at the lineup for the finals, it's you can predict something, but as it is finals, then the guys, they're just gonna do their very, very best. They're gonna put everything on the line, and that's when it becomes interesting. Now they're gonna do like whatever they need to do to win this. You just need to do the biggest kite loop, maybe a few rotations, and they will try that. I mean, I think even Lasse, he's gonna try and do a kite loop board off now. He hasn't done it all day, but hopefully he's gonna pull it out. I just told him, dude, you're in the finals. You have to do a kite loop board off. That's all you have to do, and do it very, very big.
Well, let's see if that one works out for him.
Yeah.
Because we are about to go into the finals now. So we'll take a little quick break, and then it's into the action. So stay tuned.
You are watching Red Bull Megaloop, the event that only runs when a storm hits the radar. 16 of the world's best riders are pulling their most extreme megaloops in order to find out who is the best. Welcome to the finals. The riders are judged on a combination of height, execution and style. This is Red Bull Megaloop.
And welcome back. We are here on Zandvoort at the Red Bull Megaloop. And I'm Bas Kolem here with Lewis Crathern, and we're about to watch the final together.
Yes, don't go anywhere. This is about to be the most exciting thing you watch on any screen this year. This is the Red Bull Megaloop here in Zandvoort. It's the 4th edition in Holland. Here we are on the west coast of Holland with a beautiful south-southwest wind blowing in the region of 40 knots. As I said, I'm Lewis Crathern. This is Baz Cool. All the action taking place soon. Thousands of people have lined the beach here. And if you have just joined us, welcome to from Red Bull TV and any way that you're tuning in. What a time to do it. You're about to witness the final here. And what a final it's going to be. Who's in this final, Baz?
We will have Ross, Dylan Player, we will have Lasse Walker, the Dutch guy, and we have Oswald Smith from South Africa, and last but not least, Liam Whaley from Spain.
And the riders are just about to go. The yellow flag is up at the moment. Once that green flag comes out,
and here we see
that yellow flag still up. You want to be getting going now. Lasse Walker with the white rash vest, the Dutch rider. Liam Whaley from Spain with the yellow rash vest. Oswald Smith representing half this final South Africans in the blue rash vest, and the red rash vest of Ross Dylan Player will be.
And the crowd is getting closer to the sea to see the action. And there we see Lasse getting ready.
Storming into the ocean like the front lines of an army go the crowds as this tide recedes, allowing more space for the riders. On your screen right now then, the white rash vest.
Lasse Walker.
Some of these riders aren't ready at the moment. Oswald Smith's late in.
Is sliding in. Oswald Smith is sliding into the sea, ready on his Ares Razor. This is the final of the Red Bull Megaloop. Who is going to win?
More importantly, where's Liam?
Liam Whaley is getting ready. He is just gonna pick a kite from the beach probably, and pull some loops.
I wonder if he was just trying to fix that kite from the semi still, and has been doing so frantically through this final, because he did have some issues with it.
If I would be him, I would grab the same kite I was using before.
Yeah. Here we go then, lining himself up for the first move is Lasse Walker on your screen. He's just going to abort that and turn around on that red. He's on the Vegas. Nice to see him take the sea kite.
There it is, first trick. Massive kite loop. Late roll.
Big landing needed here.
Of Ross Dylan Player.
Clean! It clean. And he's stoked.
Yes.
God, he doesn't want to do that too. He might crash. What a start from Ross Dylan here, going massive.
There we have Oswald Smith setting up for his first trick. Just holding back there.
Yeah, just gliding downwind as we're currently on screen is Lasse Walker, the Red Bull rider from the Netherlands. Here he is working his way out to sea, just negotiating those waves. Sets up on the inside.
Not feeling it there.
Bankers, probably going for the Megaloop back roll. Ross Dylan Player has just gone straight into the lead of this thing. He's going to be up there in the sevens, Baz. I don't believe what I'm seeing. He's up there in the sevens.
You think he put some pressure on the other riders to show off immediately that he could deal with this type of pressure?
In turn, he has done that, but I think what he's actually doing is just having a great time. I think he's relaxed. He had a bit of a wobble in that, having to go through the second round, but sometimes that can work when you have to go through the hard way.
Yes.
He's done the most heats, he's had the most riding. He's young enough not to be tired, so he's up for it. He's got miles back upwind as well here, so we're still yet to see Liam Whaley. He's late into this heat, but that's kind of becoming familiar in his heat today.
He only needs, say, like 2 minutes to do 2 tricks.
Yeah.
There we have Oswald Smith going for that kite loop with the roll.
Nice change of direction as well on the inside
and sticking. I don't know what he's doing, but
yeah, 7.83 from Ross Dylan. That's going to be hard to beat here. So that's a pretty good start on your screens then. There he is again. I mentioned at the start of the day that I think one of the moves that's going to score really well, possibly and win this thing, is going to be a massive boogie loop. Nice to hear Nick's views just
What was the boogie loop again?
Front roll Megaloop. The move that Ruben Lenton himself invented. It was nice to hear Nick's thoughts just now. But I didn't agree that it would be a board-off Megaloop that wins this event, because to do a board-off Megaloop, it really does lean towards being on a bridled kite. You can see Lasse's taken the Vegas here. I don't think he performs that trick on the Vegas.
You know that better
It
than
doesn't
me.
encourage super-powered low kites. People just don't do those moves in strong winds. All this talk about taking straps or boots doesn't really matter in these conditions. It's about who can stick the biggest, most aggressive boots.
Yeah.
And that was Ruben's vision when
Of
he
this
came
event.
up with this event.
There he goes, Lasse Walker.
Big loop with a delayed back roll. It's big, but was it Ross Dillon big? Big enough, nice
I
land.
don't think it was Ross Dillon big.
But I think Liam must have performed the trick because he's downwind now. So some of these tricks are going to start coming in. Lasse Walker just downwind.
So we have Oswald with a 5 scoring, Ross Dillon leading. So let's see what Lasse Walker's score is going to be and which position he's going to.
High 6s, I think, possibly maybe low 7s. Just don't think it was as big as Ross's. Ross is going back out now. He's got to be warming up the boogie loop soon. It's going to be the red rash vest of Ross Dillon.
How do you warm up for a boogie loop?
You don't, you just do it.
You just pull it. There he goes, Liam Whaley, first one.
Nice control. I love the way he goes
Whoa,
around that
I like
back
how he
roll.
just sent that kite very slow.
Pure feeling into that back roll. There's no dangle, there's no crazy inversion. That's just pure feeling from a man's
Beautiful
super
calculation.
tight. So it was a high, sort of mid 7s for Lasse Walker's Megaloop back roll. It was quite a high one. Maybe I was a bit harsh on that score, and he'll be happy to get going with that. I'm not sure if Liam's is going to score as high as a 7.5, but it's Ross Dillon who's currently in the lead. Didn't get there. Oh, he's gone
What?
for a massive Megaloop, a boogie loop. Very disconnected, and he
That was,
just crashes down. But I don't think that's going to oust his score. But he's already
For me, the
working on
rotation was a bit wrong.
It's a difficult move. Here he goes up into it, and watch the bar here. It's about trying to get that bar in to your body. But
And
it's
why do you want to have the bar
full
close?
power? It's a difficult move, a boogie loop, to actually get the bar into your chest. You have to
So, 3 tips for a boogie loop.
3 tips for a boogie loop. Have your front rolls dialed pretty well,
1, yes.
and don't pull early. If you pull early on a front roll, you get locked into a horrible
Okay.
position that no
Last
boogie
last
loop.
tip.
Last tip is to be comfortable with pulling the bar in and being backwards onto your kite.
Okay,
That's
let's
probably my
see.
biggest secret tip of them all. That's how you get lift, and that's how you go into the second part of that trick. Ross Dillon is demonstrating he's got no problems with that move in 40 knots, and that would be his riding back home. He's got one hand on the trophy right now, Ross Dillon player, in his first final ever, representing one of the 2 South Africans that's in here. 50% of this final, South African. It's Europe versus Africa here in the final of the Red Bull Megaloop in Zandvoort.
There he goes.
There's Lasse Walker. Doesn't quite get the height that he wanted. That's not going to be his highest scorer. And
Ross Dillon still leading, I would say.
oh yeah, Ross Dillon's leading.
And I think Liam Whaley is setting up there a beautiful loop with a double roll.
Yeah, back roll Megaloop into another one. Very technical trick. Now where is that going to put him? This is going to be very close up the top now. Another Megaloop from Ross wasn't epic as a nice.
Here
to
we see
Luke
Luke Timmer, yeah.
looking on.
He probably still had the highest scoring trick.
Yeah, it's going to be up there. You won't forget about that.
Well,
Okay, let's go to Lasse Walker. Front roll Megaloop. That's a nice controlled boogie loop.
very nice. And sticking it, yes, very well done. And I see Liam Whaley setting up already, going for another boogie loop.
It's huge.
What a
He's going to
mess.
go into another roll here. Can he control it? Oh, it's a big
Sort
butt
of
check.
butt
It's
check,
going to
yeah.
take some points off that, but it's going to be big. That is 2 big.
Dedication
moves,
there.
Liam Whaley and Lasse Walker are going to upgrade their scores then from that trick. Can Oswald Smith upgrade his 5.0? He just gets that downwind glide a lot of the time, Baz, where it doesn't get
He
him
needs
up
a
there.
kicker.
He
Ozzy needs a
does.
kicker.
If he finds the kickers, he gets up there, and that's how the South African has found his way into the final here. 5 minutes and 10 seconds remain now, as I just made sure. It's a bit ahead of myself there. Remain of this final here in the Netherlands.
Beautiful Zandvoort. If you're just tuning in, this is the Red Bull Megaloop live from Zandvoort.
What a
Insane
deal.
spot.
We had a
Strong
lovely-
wind.
Yeah, lovely sunshine come out today. You would never have believed this on the forecast, which had rain in it and all sorts. As here goes Here he goes then, Oswald Smith on that blue kite. Lovely wide shot for you to see here. This is how we jump with the kite. He's going to move that kite nice and high above him any second now if he is going to jump, or he will abort. One or the other. I think he's going to abort this.
He's aborting again. Shit.
Yeah, just too far out now for it to be worth it, unless he hits this way. If someone on the inside's just hit one.
Ross Dillon, of course.
We're staying with Oswald here because he might just send one. But no, he's far out the back now. He's going to abort that. So it's very close here. Here's the replay of what we did see. It was a Ross Dillon player.
Okay. 4 minutes left in this final of the Red Bull Megaloop. We have in this heat Ross Dillon player, Lasse Walker, Oswald Smith and Liam Whaley. Who is leading at the moment, Lewis?
Ross Dillon players leading.
I like your excitement.
Now we've got to that crucial time in the heat, Baz, where
Liam Whaley is going to step up.
Liam Whaley's going to swap kite 3 times. No, we don't know. Here's the live scores. Ross Dillon player, 7.83. He's winning. He looks good for this win so far, does Ross Dillon. I still feel that a big boogie loop could be the one that might score into the 8s today. Ross Dillon player's way downwind. He's going to have to get himself upwind. Liam's upwind here. Oswald Smith, still only on a 5, would be looking to upgrade this. There's 3 minutes left. These riders will know this. They wear watches. They know by the flag sequence. The green flag is still raised. Heart racing.
There it is. Oswald Smith taking up.
Nice big delayed.
I don't really understand why he pulls it so late.
It's almost like he first wants to accept lift. He first wants to just accept that he's got lift before he sends it. Liam Whaley isn't going to score much for that. He just didn't send it. Here we go. Here's the replay of Oswald Smith. It's first of all, he just wants to accept he's got enough lift and send it. That will be more than his 5.0. But a unbelievable swapping decision again then from Lasse Walker. I really like this
He's
today.
swapping because he's going to do a kite loop
Is he
board
going
up.
big up? No, I don't think he's swapping to do
I
that
think
move.
so.
I think he's swapping because he's been going bigger on this kite today. This is what's been working for him. I mean, look, he looks absolutely stacked. I think he's put a 9 up here.
Yes.
Is it the 9?
He is slipping into the water.
I think he's swapping because he knows just
2
why not
minutes,
go as big as
20.
possible. This is an unbelievable swap by him. A great pit stop here. All the other riders are downwind. Can he send the boogie?
Was it a smart swap?
Sorry?
A smart swap?
Smart swap. Don't know. A swap done with no problems, I guess. A smart swap.
There goes 2 minutes left in this final of the Red Bull Megaloop.
The crowd watch on.
Lasse is going
He's giving
left of
himself
court.
the chance.
There he's
2
going,
minutes
taking
left.
off.
It's a big loop.
Big loop, but
It's a
not a
straight loop.
proper takeoff, huh?
Will he land this flying out the side of the screens? No, he doesn't.
But he still has his board.
Still has his board, but he's going to be downwind now. As we see a massive loop from Liam. Surely he can't land
Did he
it.
land it?
He's landed it. I don't know what it was. What
He
was
landed it. Oh, let's
Here
see
it
the
is.
replay.
There's our first one from that. It's all going off outside now. And we can do our best to tell you from outside this window. Nick Jacobson's up here. He can give us an idea of what he saw. Nick, was that a boogie loop? Was that a boogie loop? It was a boogie loop. That's the move, I think. And the kite stalled, and he did land it. Will it upgrade him?
Oh.
Still in the lead. Oswald Smith's gone into second place. And Liam Whaley's probably going to go up the rankings. So he's still got this by 0.23 is Ross Dillon. It's the South Africans, can you believe it, in first and second place.
Last minute of this final here, the Red Bull Megaloop final, last minute. What is happening, Lewis?
Green flag has gone down for the final time this year at the Red Bull Megaloop here in Zandvoort. He's setting up. He needs the boogie loop, Ross Dillon, to guarantee it. But can you believe this? You would never have believed this today. But 2 of the South Africans, especially after that upset of the former champion that didn't quite pull through today. That was Joshua Emmanuel from Durban. He didn't pull through the earlier rounds, and we thought the hope was over for South Africa. But Ross Dillon player, it looks like he's bringing this one home. Unbelievable separation.
Last 30 seconds.
0.46 separate the podium at this moment in time. Liam Whaley's got something in the bag. What's it going to
There
be?
it is, Liam Whaley. Boom, another big one.
That's a big Megaloop back roll. What's it going to score?
Landed.
All these riders are way out the box now. I think that's it. I don't think there's any more tricks these riders can perform.
Okay, last 5 seconds. Is there anybody going to take off?
No, I think that's the most they can do. 3, 2, 1. And there is the red flag, Baz, to finish the final heat of the day. That was the final of the Red Bull Megaloop. We hope you enjoyed that at home on Red Bull TV and through any platform that you've been able to watch us today. There is Ross Dillon, player, who I think might have sneaked this here from pure passion of the sport. He was out there to enjoy himself. We can't confirm that just now. The judges have to decide on their last moves. Baz, who do you think's got it?
I think Liam got it.
With that last move?
With that last one that I didn't see the landing from, but I heard everybody going crazy. He started in front of me and he ended, I don't know, somewhere in IJmuiden. If you know where IJmuiden is.
I call it Iron Maiden, but it kind of has the same meaning. There's some of the
There are
action
the replays,
there.
man.
That was one of the big loops that scored very high early on. First move that was for Ross Dillon, the South African. Look how
nice
stoked he was.
opening.
He couldn't contain it. He could not contain the emotion.
Another one. Yeah, Ross Dillon was definitely like, how do you say, like showing that he was the complete rider in the final.
Today. It must be so difficult travelling at such a young age. Doesn't know a lot of people around here. Just come on a flight to deal with it. There he is on the water. He doesn't know how he's done yet. Probably doesn't even know if he's on the podium. What must he be thinking?
He is stoked. What a great show here in the final of the Red Bull Megaloop here on Zandvoort. Look at the water pushing in. Look at the crowd gathering like closer to the riders. The judges are happy, so there is a result.
Yeah, they're
they
getting
know.
ready to go out on the water. They're getting ready to walk out of the office after a very good amount of work today. There's Ross Dillon. Hasn't been told yet if he's won. Well, that guy doesn't even care. Getting soaked. That's the spirit. And that's what it's about, being down the beach. Live scores coming in then.
And
it looks like Ross Dillon, player from South Africa, has taken the victory. Oswald Smith will join him in second place, also from South Africa. And Lasse Walker made it to the podium.
Seriously?
Okay, and we're going to the beach.
Stand up. Talk us through how you're feeling right now. I can't even explain the emotion. Oh man, that just went so well. Oh man, it's so good.
It's been emotional watching you today to come back from round one and get to this point. I know it's really hard to put into words, but what an amazing final. You led from the start. Just incredible scenes.
Coming from round one, I thought I was going home. I was having such a bad day, and I've won every single heat I've had since round one. That's 4 heats. So I'm so happy, and I can't thank my sponsors enough. Just so Mystic and Surf Gears for looking after me, and Red Bull for putting on this amazing event. It's been insane. I've had so much fun being here, and it's just made my journey worth coming here from South Africa. I'm so happy right now. I'm lost for words.
To look back at your first King of the Air, which wasn't that long ago, and here you are, winning Red Bull Megaloop 2019.
Yeah, I mean, 2 years ago was my first King of the Air, and I can't believe I would have never said I'd be standing on the top of the podium in 2 years.
Well, that's incredible stuff there. I mean, emotional scenes here on the beach. Well done again.
Thank you so much.
Red Bull Megaloop champion 2019.
Okay, and we're back in the studio. Joining me here, Nick, and we're gonna have a look at Lasse Walker's tricks here. Lewis was just out there showing a high five to Ross Dillon. So what a show, Nick.
What a show, what a day. Wait, just gonna adjust this mic. Is this good?
This is great.
Nice.
Yeah, great action here on the water. Very impressive riding. So first, Ross Dillon player, did you expect him to win?
You know, anyone could have taken the win today. A guy like Ross from Cape Town, yeah, definitely podium.
Here we see some highlights of Lasse. Third place. So, did you put your money on Lasse actually to win this event?
I had some money on him. Not all of it, but
yeah.
I did.
You spread it a bit.
Yeah, I did spread it a bit. I had a lot on Lasse. I did.
Yeah. Wow, it was a massive one, huh?
Yeah.
Actually, the one that was really impressive was the one from Luke Timmer. That was really insanely high.
That was amazing.
Lewis just got back here in the studio, and
sorry.
Nick took your place here. Nick, biggest trick of the day for you? Your trick?
I think the kiteboarders. Yeah, I was pretty satisfied with the kiteboarders that I pulled out today. They weren't that big, but definitely I was pretty happy that I could actually pull it off in these conditions.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a look at the highlights of Oswald Smith, another South African shredder. This is Liam Whaley at the moment. Little technical issue here. So Liam, another loop for Liam. Beautiful riding. Yeah, this is Ozzy showing his kite control. Yeah, great riding. You had to run to Ross Dillon.
I had to run to him. I had to show him that I cared about that moment. That was a massive moment.
Yeah.
And a massive moment in his career, Baz.
You got a bit emotional there. Okay, we're gonna go over some serious highlights of this winner of the Red Bull Megaloop, Ross Dillon player from South Africa, winning this event here in Zandvoort. And here, this was his first trick of the final opening.
Yeah, he showed some real composure during that final, and I heard you talking about what you thought the best move of the day was just there with Nick.
Yeah.
For me, it was that opening move of that final from Ross. He showed complete control, and what a time to put that move in. Sorry, I'm breathing so hard. I just ran down there. The run there was easy, but the run back was a nightmare.
So great trick there from Ross. And here we see the crowd getting around the riders, and they are just here in front of us, close to the podium. We're setting up for the prize ceremony there. Just got announced that Ross Dillon player is the winner again from this insane event.
And I think it's really important to talk about the other riders there that made the final as well, Baz. I mean, Oswald Smith, second place, that was unbelievable. What result? Did he get second or third? I think it was second, so that was really good riding from him. All the crowds now gathering on the beach. It's nice to see the locals out there riding as well. In a moment's time, we'll be able to celebrate these amazing efforts from these riders. Lasse Walker deserved on the podium as well. Bit unlucky for Liam today. Oh no, he did sneak. Sorry, he did. Sorry, I've got that wrong. Liam did sneak second place.
Yeah, he did
with
sneak
that big
second
move
place.
at the end.
Yeah.
So they was the scores I didn't see come through. So unfortunately for Oswald, he won't actually be on the podium. He's in fourth, but good effort from him.
So before we go to the prize giving, we go to a quick preview of the mountain bike competition that's gonna come up. So Rob, take it away.
This weekend we're in the Austrian Alps in Leogang for round 3 of this year's Mercedes-Benz UCI Downhill World Cup. This is a venue that always serves up some drama and always produces one of the tightest races of the year. It's short, it's fast and it's intense, and you don't want to miss it. It's live on Red Bull TV tomorrow from 12:30 local time. We'll see you then.
There we go then, podium shot now. God, what a feeling this must be to be staying up there. Ross must be so happy to be up there. I think he went into this just to enjoy the day, and sometimes that comes out on top. He'll be very happy back home in South Africa. Certainly his mother, that I know, who comes to watch him regularly on the beach. This must be a massive moment. And for everybody in South Africa to see this rider in his first final, so comfortable. He was so comfortable out there. He's a friend of everyone. He's lent his kite to other riders today. You know, you don't often do that in events, Baz, do you? Risk someone breaking your own kite and having nothing, and he just gave his heart today straight
Real
out.
sportsmanship.
And this will be a big moment in this young rider's career. I know he's got lots of opportunities and sponsorships on the horizon, and what a feeling that must be. I bet he can't believe it just standing. There's Ruben Lenton as well, one of his idols standing down to his side. That must be a big moment.
There we have Ozzy coming in.
All right, so Ozzy did come in second.
Yeah.
So I've been reading all the wrong stuff up here since my run down. So Ozzy did come in second place. He'll be so stoked. He got on a plane proper last minute to be here, Baz. Really didn't come in early like the other riders. And he'll be so stoked to take that. Great result for Air Rush as well, Baz.
Yeah, very stoked for Oswald Smith here. He had a very hectic flight to come here, and he made it. Nice podium here of these guys, 2 South African riders and 1 Dutchie. Lasse representing Holland, of course.
So.
And what's Ruben Lentin going to ask me?
Geef die man zijn drietot! Nou, daar wordt de champagne douche, lekker.
Before these riders are rewarded, where they can actually talk to each other about what happened. That was a lacquer ride.
And there we have Liam Whaley also showing up here at the podium. 4th place, great riding of him as well.
Yeah, and he had it really hard today, did Liam Whaley. If you didn't see earlier on, he had to swap kites 3 times just to get up here in the first place to the final, and he did that effortlessly in the semi-final.
3 kisses, not used to that.
You put in the work, guys.
Yeah,
I
he was a
wasn't
bit
out there, brother. I'm
slow
sure
into
you're
that final
tired and
due to
knackered,
kit
but
as
you
well.
did all you could.
Yeah, it was definitely quite a struggle. I had a few problems with my gear, but that made it all the more exciting, and I hope I sent it enough for you guys.
For sure, bro. Everybody was stoked and was screaming for you. And I think you're a great example of never give up, always fix your shit, and continue your mission. Woo! Yeah, buddy.
All right. In 3rd place, with the white shirt, Lasse Walker. On
yeah, boy.
All right, well, let's make it easier for you guys. Number 2, also from South Africa, Oswald Smith!
Yeah, boy! And then in 1st place, we've got Ross Dylan Player! You! Send it like a boss. Congratulations, bro.
Yeah, kiss, kiss, kiss. Come on, yeah! 12 times, do it. Give the man his trident.
What an epic prize. This is going to be shower! Lekker, boys. And thanks for a great show. Once again, you guys rode amazing. What an epic action. Yeah, boy!
One last time, Ross Dylan Player!
Poseidon ain't got shit on you, boss.
Awesome. Ik denk dat wij vandaag een heel mooi event hebben gezien. En we willen graag toch even gebruik maken de laatste paar minuutjes om toch te bedanken. Red Bull als eerste uiteraard. De sport voor het produceren, voor de venue. Mystic, Samsung, Nieuwe, Harlem, de Zuun, Team Ricardo, Tom, de race-directeur Chris en Ruben Lentin voor zijn oneindige energie en hele goede teksten. En dat is echt awesome. Dit hell of a job. En de reddingsbrigade, gemeente Zandvoort, alle vrijwilligers en jullie allemaal, het publiek, nog 1 keer. Dank je.
Yeah! Teamwork makes dream work. Yeah, on to the party!
Well, Lewis, what a day here in Zandvoort aan Zee. Actually, genuinely a bit emotional there, seeing Ross Dylan Player take that. A true battle for him today. How's this all struck you?
Well, what an amazing result to an incredible day full of action. And sometimes I think with these events, it happens to the right people. A young rider looking to make his way in his career, and what a way to do it. Congratulations to Ross Dylan Player. Thanks to Baz and everybody here today who's come to watch, all of you online. From me, that's goodbye.
And from me too. An incredible day here in Zandvoort. Thanks for tuning in. And that is all for the Red Bull Megaloop 2019 here in Zandvoort aan Zee.
Come on.